Test, test, test. Good evening, Manhattan, New York City. What? You ready? Rock and roll? Good evening, Manhattan, New York City, the world, the universe, and beyond. My name's Kirk, and this is my spiritual, supernatural, mystical, and magical, and metaphysical Shakti TV show. And I started a series last year where I scour the globe for the world's master healers, shamans, tarot professionals. If you've got anything going on in the mystical, magical, healing arts, spiritual arts realms, I want to talk to you. And you can find all of my interviews over at Dailymotion and the YouTube, and check me out on Facebook and all social media platforms. Let me just take a deep breath, yoga breath, and get into the studio. You can see in our background that we have this guy with mesmerizing eyes on the screen here. He looks like a master hypnotist. He asked me to introduce him. I was like, hey, you're a master hypnotist over 25 years. He's like, I'm a regression therapist?
Hypnotherapist.
Okay, let's start. The camera's totally on you. So that's your intro. I'm going to show your links up later and your Facebook page and how to contact you. So let's take a yoga breath, start our connection. I'm not going to call it an interview, meeting of the minds. And Michael, tell us what you'd like us to know about you in a couple minutes.
Okay. Well, I've been doing this work for 29 years now. And I do a lot of work with people to help them with emotional issues, to help them with physical issues. Most of the people that show up in my office have tried all the other routes. They've been through traditional therapy, or they've been to doctors, and they either couldn't find anything wrong with them if it was emotional, or they weren't able to help them with their health issues. And most of the time, health issues do have emotional components to them, whether they be current life or whether they be past life. So basically what I do with people is I really help them to get to the roots of what's actually causing their problems. And then we work through those on a real deep subconscious level. When we do that, we're able to really, really work through their issues. They're able to see the current life connections. They're able to learn a lot more about their soul. Now, how do they know they have a soul? Well, if you're moving and you're animated, the energy that animates you is your soul. And the memory of that soul goes back many, many lifetimes. And a lot of times we're having conditioned responses. Something's happening now that is basically creating a conditioned response that's something that happened to us way back. And often we got to go back and work through, find out what's going on, bring those protective parts forward to now, and merge them so that we're able to get that client in a place of health. So that's in a nutshell, pretty much what I do.
Okay, that's a good intro. Dang, we're getting a little feedback in the studio. I'm not sure why. There we go. It's gone. Okay, it's a ghost in the machine, Michael.
I love it.
On our background in the studio, I have a visual of kind of like a guy, an old guy, 1900s, in a bowler with a pocket watch.
Okay.
You'll be able to see it later, but maybe we can start off with a brief discussion and your understanding of trance states, hypnotism, the history. I was listening to something, and I'm interested in being certified. So any information you could give us about, like, when you were starting out, and how did the bug kind of get you? How were you called? And also, that like they were doing dream things in Egypt. Like, is that correct? Will you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, that's kind of what we feel was the beginning, as far as back as we know, is they actually did have temples, healing temples in Egypt, and where people would go in and go into subconscious levels and actually work through things, pretty much what we're doing now. And hypnosis itself, it comes from the Greek word hypnos, which is sleep, but hypnosis is actually much different than sleep. It's not the same state of mind as sleep, because when you're actually asleep, you're not actually, if somebody talks to you, you're not actually able to converse back with them, and you're not able to actually go to different places because it's a different state of mind. So we're actually taking them down into what's that known as that alpha beginning theta state of mind with hypnosis. And basically it's just guiding a person down inside themselves, down to that subconscious level. And it's tremendously easy to do. A lot of people go, well, I don't know if I can be hypnotized or not. Well, if you have a heartbeat, then you can be hypnotized. You go through many states throughout the day. Anytime that you're daydreaming, that's the same state of mind. It's just a much deeper state of that we take you down to. You ever driving down the highway, almost pass up your exit because you're just kind of zoning? Police actually call that highway hypnosis because that's the same state of mind. So it's very natural. It's something we're used to doing. We're just not used to having somebody guide us there. But pretty much anybody can do it. I got started, I had a little comedy club, and I had a comedy hypnotist come in, and a couple of my friends went up, and I was just blown away. I was like, I gotta learn how to do this. And for about the first 6 months, I was just doing funny stuff with friends, and then those friends, though, said, hey, can you help me to quit drinking? I'm drinking too much. Can you help me to quit smoking? Can you help me lose weight? I've got an acting job coming up. I need to be able to remember the lines easier. Can you help me with that? And the more people that start asking me, that's where it really got me, where I said, you know what? People need help, and this is an amazing tool to help these people. So that's kind of how I got my start.
Okay. Let's see. How much of the mind, like if it was 100% scale, how much is conscious, how much is subconscious? Is there like another level, like pre-conscious maybe? Is that the past life? Is that the...
Basically with most people, people kind of fight about this, but your conscious mind is your rational analytical part of the mind. It's where your short-term memory is housed. It's your ability to rationalize everything going on around you. And in the conscious mind, there's something called the critical faculty or critical factor. And basically, that's the part that slams down when somebody says something to you and that part is down. You take what they're saying and you compare it to what you already have in your subconscious portion of the mind, which is where your beliefs are housed. In that subconscious portion, that's where our protection is. That's where our long-term memory is. And then we also have what's called a superconscious. That's where our soul memories actually come in. Because your soul has been around way, way, way back. So if we go, say we go back 1,000 lifetimes with someone, that may have been your early life. And you go back, 500 lifetimes may have been your more adolescent years. Teenage years even, just to give you an idea. And we can have issues throughout all of those that can come up now due to conditioned responses. So back to your question, basically we have conscious, which is active right now. Subconscious is what runs our life here, pretty much. Our programs that we have running in there are what our actions are based on. Our conscious mind is where our willpower comes in, which is why it's so weak in comparison. When we try and change something with willpower, a lot of times we're able to change it for a little bit, then we go back to what we were doing before, even though we don't really want to.
Okay. Let me refer back to kind of our pre-interview where we had a great discussion, and you talked about the intermediary and the protector, part of the mind that kind of filters. Or now, how do we talk about ego, ego, id, superconscious? Do we talk about an integrated personality? How do you get the person to trust you? Is there like a part where you're going to have to, or do they just automatically trust you?
As far as when a client comes in, you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So basically what happens is a client will come in and clients, when a client comes in on a physician's referral, or they're referred by a chiropractor or a medical professional, those clients generally have a lot more trust from the get-go because they went to those other medical professionals for help in the first place, and they said, okay, I've been able to help you, but go see this guy because this guy knows his shit. Because obviously it's something, emotional that we can't get to the roots of that. That's not what we do. When those type of clients come in, they come in with a tremendous amount of trust to begin with. When other clients come in, a lot of times what's happening is if they find you off the website, sometimes clients will say to you, I found your website, I read it, I like the fact that I could tell you were very honest on your website. And I said, yeah, I am. And one of the things that I don't do is I'm not going to judge you. A lot of people are afraid to tell their story because their story is embarrassing, stuff that they have to work through. And I'm not a kind of person that really judges people. I've heard it all, and it just, so I tell people right up front, no matter what it is you're going to tell me, no matter how crazy you think it might be, I'm not going to judge you. So if you're worried about me judging you, we can blow that right out of the water. It ain't going to happen. And I talk to people in my normal everyday tone. I swear with people. I joke around with them, and they can tell that, like I've had kids go, wow, that I've been to other therapists, but this guy's really easy to talk to. He's like knows his shit, but he's a normal guy. He didn't look down on me or anything. And that's what it's about. It's about having respect for people, because I don't look down on any client that's ever come in. They're on the same level as me, man. I'm a guy to get them to heal themselves, and that's what happens, man.
Okay. Sincere desire to be of loving service and to get people healed. That kind of comes with, quote unquote, being an old soul. You have a very, very strong pair of eyes. Now, you got to understand, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you have a very strong pair of eyes. See, when I interviewed Michael, I only saw a picture of him, and then we talked on the phone, but I didn't see this guy's eyes. Are crazy powerful. So do you get the client to look into your, let's dispel some stuff about anytime you tagline hypnotist, but that's kind of just sub rosa of what you do, right? That's kind of like you're a healer. We talked about shamanic things that you get into. You you say regression hypnotist. So what's your real focus? And do you have any other moniker, title, taglines that you want to throw in here?
Well, basically, a lot of times when a client comes in, what I'm doing is I'm first talking to them to find out what are we working on, And sometimes we've talked on the phone about that, but I have had tons of people make appointments. They've come in, and I have no idea what they want to work on. But when they sit in front of me and they start telling me their story, intuitive-wise, I pick up on a tremendous amount that's going on. Because I get out of the way, and I call it the Holy Spirit. I get out of the way, I ask the Holy Spirit, what does this person need in order to be able to heal? Where do we got to go? What do we got to do? Do they have attachments? Do they have spirit attachments? A lot of times people do. And that's one of the first things is finding out if they do have spirit attachments, and we need to get rid of them. We got to really invoke their free will and get rid of them. And sometimes people have come in that have been depressed for years, and that's actually what's been going on for years, is they've had attachments for just years, and there wasn't anything even emotionally going on. It was more like a possession. So after we've gotten rid of those attachments, and really worked with that person, they've gone, holy crap, I feel completely different. I remember I haven't felt this good in years, and it's because of all that interference I was having. So, I mean, sometimes I'm guided to, ask people and go in and find out. Sometimes people have had alien implants, and I've had to help them with that, help them remove them. Um, I get a lot of help during sessions. Archangel Michael comes in. I work with him a lot. Jesus has come into people's sessions a lot, working with them. People could talk to anybody too. To give you an example, it was a wonderful girl came in today. It was her birthday, and her dad went back into spirit a little over a year ago, and she's 15 years old. I'm able to bring in her dad to talk directly to her, not me talking to her dad talking directly to her. I'm a bridge. So a lot of people go, "You're a medium," and no, I guess it's kind of like a medium, but a medium normally is talking to the person for you. I connect people directly, and that's a wonderful healing for people. Anytime people are suffering with grief, they can talk to their loved ones very, very easy. It's not something that's hard to do at all. I might have gone off topic a little bit there, but I don't know, it was what was coming to share. Basically, whatever the person needs when they sit down is where we go. I do a lot of energy work with people, tremendous amount of reaching inside and pulling out of stuck emotions with energy, and having them be able to get in touch with their emotions, get in touch with their heart, because a lot of times we have a lot of disconnects inside. A lot of people forget that they have unconditional love inside them, and they're searching outside themselves to find that. And being able to connect with that timeless, eternal love and really get them to experience it on a tremendously deep level, tremendously healing. But anyways, go ahead, brother.
Dude, you're channeling right now. I feel the power. I feel the power. I'm a believer. It's awesome.
Love it, brother.
Okay, medium, shamanic healer, Ghostbuster, exorcist.
Yeah, we get into a little bit of everything, man. Whatever people need is where we end up going.
Fox Mulder.
With the Fox Mulder.
What can we say next? Do you want to dispel some of the myths? Like, people, you know what? Are you familiar with like maybe spiritualism and like in the early 1900s in America, spiritualism and the spiritualist movement really gave all of us legitimate healers now a bad name that we're trying to shake. Still.
Yeah, it's interesting. Throughout time, there have been movements, there have been people, like Freud, for example. Freud really knew the power of hypnosis, but he really sucked at doing inductions. So the fact that he was poor at guiding people to that level, he gave up on hypnosis and went for psychoanalysis instead, which set people back just fucking decades in their healing, because it's so slow in comparison when you're not going to that same level that the issues are on. So, and we have had groups of people who are not doing the right thing, of course, that do give us people whose heart and soul is all into helping people. Yeah, bad name. Yeah, I totally agree, man. It's been something that between that and people having their own perceptions that are incorrect about what it is that you do. Because a lot of people really don't know. A lot of people have a perception of it, but they don't really know what it is because they haven't experienced it yet. And then when they come in and they experience it and they're able to find out what's going on, and it's knowledge, man. It's just finding out more about your soul's purpose for being here in this lifetime. That's a lot of what I do with people. People will come in and they'll say, I don't have any direction. Like, I don't know why the hell I'm here. Like, what the fuck? My life seems like it has no purpose. And we're able to find out, connect them with their soul and find out why are they in this lifetime? What life lessons is their soul experiencing? What's it teaching? Many times I get teachers of unconditional love. And when a person's teaching unconditional love, they're not going to have people around them that know that they have unconditional love. They're going to get people that are only operating on conditional love, and they get a lot of giving with no return with people in their lives, and they can't understand why. And when we find that out and they understand, you're teaching it. These people can't return it because they don't know they have it yet. And they go, holy shit, all right, totally makes sense. Many times people are in people's lives, and I get a lot of healers in my office, tremendous amount of healers, because a lot of them really need help, and they need to understand more about themselves. So yeah, it's great, man. I love it.
Okay. It sounds like you and I are like kind of kindred spirits,
Absolutely, brother.
We kind of like do the same thing, think the same things.
Yeah.
And it's very public that I'm an addict and alcoholic in recovery over 30 years now. And, point being, the segue is that, from like 12 on, I was using the drugs and the alcohol to go into a trance and access altered states. Then when I got sober, the stress of that was an altered state. Then I started studying herbs and, finally stumbled on meditation and sage, burning sage, and these things. So, it really was always like a very natural thing to just, like, I tell people, look, if you've been drunk, you can go into a trance. It's like,
oh yeah,
right? That's simple. If you're taking bong hits, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And when I meet people, even on the phone or in the cam when I work, I can get them into a trance. People say that it's my voice. So why don't you give us like a basic, I come in, I sit in the office, and so do you have like a script? I'm trying to get my script down where I'm trying to say deeper and deep. Do you say stuff like that? Do you have a basic script?
I don't really have a basic script, but what I do is I instantly get a feel when the person comes in. And also, from many years of doing this, you really listen to people's speech. Like as you're asking people's questions and you're paying attention. If you ask a person a question and they don't know the answer to the question right away, they may look up. If they do, they're visual. If they look to the side, they're auditory. If they look down, they're more kinesthetic or more feeling people. That's one indication right away of what you need to understand about your client that's sitting down in front of you, because if a person's visual and I say to that person, hey, you hear what I'm saying? I will break rapport with them instantly. So if they're visual, I'm going to say, do you see what I mean? And I'm going to make sure that as we go on a journey to find out what's going on with them, I'm using all visual cues, because they're able to picture everything tremendously easy. If you do that with an auditory person, they won't be able to see shit while they're in hypnosis. They'll resist and they'll come up. So going back, do I have a script that I use? No, I don't. Sometimes I'll do an instant induction if that person's very analytical, because that gets around their conscious mind like that fast. And we're down and we're able to take off. If a person, a lot of people like to feel safe because they're in an office they've never been in before, even though the office is really nice. And so basically what I do with those people is, and it's a majority of people, is I will take them to a safe place starting out and then allow them to begin to relax in this safe place. And I'm gently relaxing them with energy, and then I'm gently taking them down into their subconscious using energy. And as I do, we're talking back and forth. And when we get down to that deepest level, they feel themselves being there at that level. And they're very aware of what's going on around them.
Michael, are they in a chair? Are they on a couch? Do you light candles? Is there kind of any, like, prep drama, low lights, a pocket watch?
They're in a very, very comfortable chair that both rocks and goes back. It's a lounge chair. It's made by Lane. Because a lot of people ask, they're like, this thing's unbelievably comfortable. Like, who makes it and where can I buy it? I bought it at Levin Furniture. It's a Lane leather recliner that's tremendously comfortable.
Okay, now do you get close to them? Do you touch them? Do you ever hold their hand? Do you, go to put, if a Reiki healer kind of gets close? Or do you sit far away? Do you move anything? Do you move your hands?
Okay, so here's where I'll take you through it. I have a leather love seat that I generally sit on starting out. And as I'm taking them down with energy, I do have my hands out because I'm flowing energy. And their eyes are closed and I'm flowing energy. And some people who are energy sensitive, they can feel it. I had a lady say last week, she goes, I know this is a stupid question. I said, there are no stupid questions. She said, but it felt like I was in one of those vibrating chairs. She said, it felt like you took my chair and was shaking it. She said, the energy flowing was like nothing I've ever experienced. She goes, it was really wild. She said, it actually felt good. It felt like a massage chair. And that was just from the energy. That's because she's just very energy sensitive. But basically, some people I will touch. If a person's a kinesthetic, meaning that they're a very feeling person, those people really respond well to being touched. You have to ask them first, is it okay if I touch you on the forehead? They're like, yes. So I'm touching them on the forehead. I'm gently guiding them down. Most people I don't. Most people I'm just closer to them with energy and I'm guiding them down. Then once we get them down to that state, I generally stand up and I'm standing right next to them in the chair. And we're talking the whole time.
Okay, so wait a minute. So what's an average time limit on this? Between the time they walk in the door, you get them in the chair, and now, boom, they're in the trance of healing.
First session, generally an hour and a half to 2 hours, the first session. Then sessions after that, usually an hour to hour and a half, depending on what we're working on.
What's the time to get them into the state where you can really work in that actual?
The time to actually get them done in induction, less than 5 minutes.
Okay, can you explain induction to people that don't really know? What's another word?
Sure. So basically, an induction is taking a person from their conscious mind, which is, as you're watching this video, you're conscious. Meaning that you're very alert, you're judging everything that's going on around you. As you're judging everything that's going on around you, you're at that conscious or beta brainwave frequency. Now, with energy, or you're relaxing a person, when you have a person concentrate on something, when you mentioned the pocket watch, what old hypnotists used to do way back is take a pocket watch, have a person watch the pocket watch, go back and forth, because that took their attention to doing something as their conscious mind, as they started to go around the conscious mind to bring them down to the subconscious. And there's tons and tons of different ways to do that. So basically, induction means going down from your conscious mind down into your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is where we start to find out what's really going on. Between that and linking that with your superconscious, your soul memories, we're able to find out what it is that's happening with you. And I a lot of times when people have issue, I will go, no, and I'm pulling gently with energy, and I'm pulling the answers into their mind easy. Know how many lifetimes this is from, and if they say it's just from this lifetime, I know we're only working in this lifetime. If they say 37, like a session I did right before doing this interview with you, I said, know how many lifetimes this is from? 7. How many of them actually need research, though, to alleviate this issue? 3. All right, we're going to go back to that very first of those 3 lifetimes. Now I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. I'm going to take you back with energy. 3, we're going back. 2, back to that lifetime that has everything to do with this emotion. So I'm guiding them with energy, and I'm also taking them on the emotion. when you're going on an emotion, it creates what's called an affect bridge. That affect bridge will take you back to the situations, the events, the traumas, the whatever it is that has everything to do with this issue that your client is working on, resolving. So we need to get back to that very first one that we need to work through, and we need to find out what's going on. So as we get there, and I'll say one, and be there. First impression, is it daytime, nighttime? Sometimes your client will be like, it's early evening, such a time. If they say that, you know right away that they're a very specific person, and you want to be very specific in your speech when you're asking them things. You always want your client to feel completely and totally comfortable and relate to how you're trying to help them as best as possible. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. We're getting deeper. We're getting deeper here. I'm getting deeper. Let me see. Alpha, beta, theta. Is it 3 basic states? I always say alpha to create, alpha state to create, alpha state to create. Is that?
Then there's theta, and then delta's deepest state, which is some people. That's when you're doing really, really deep sleep, where the body is really repairing itself on that delta level.
So you speak to them in alpha.
Alpha to beginning theta is normal working, unless you're doing something else with them. In other words, there's states that you can take people to. Like one of the states is called the Esdell state, and it's named after the gentleman that first took someone there. It's a tremendously euphoric state of mind where the person really loses all body ability to move around, and you can take their arms and legs and move them anywhere, and they'll just stay there. From that state, you can bring their mind up to superconscious level, have them talk with their spirit guides, have them actually do what's called ultra height or ultra depth hypnosis. 2 different people coined those terms, but basically where you're having their higher self work on issues, and then allowing you to know when that's done, and then you bring them up out of that state. Now that state, though, you have to really have a tremendous working knowledge of, because it's tremendously euphoric. A lot of people don't like to come up out of it, so you need to know exactly how to get them up out of that state and bring them back to now. And that's one of the ones that I only take people there for very specific purposes. Like for me to take them to their guides, I do it with energy. I do it in a tremendously different way, and I can take them to their guides real easy. And they're, let me know when you're there. Okay, we're here. Go ahead and talk to them. Let me know when you're done talking to them. Okay, we're done. And then we talk about what they talked about. I don't go that route, but I do take people there for preparation for surgery. Like I've had some people come in and had stomach surgery done. Of course, and when you want to use hypnosis, you have to make sure that person's able to go to a tremendously deep level where they're not going to be in any pain at all. And conditioning to them to that level and how to get out is important. So, yeah.
Okay, let me see. We're right around 35 minutes, just to let you know.
All right, brother.
Time's flying by. Let's go Journey of Souls. Is it Destiny of Souls, Journey of Souls? And instead of regression, that includes pre-life from this lifetime? Is that...
So basically, those 2 books are wrote by Dr. Michael Newton. And Dr. Newton just passed away about a year ago. And they're a 20-year study into what happens in between each lifetime. We go into what's called the spirit world. And there's a tremendous amount of stuff that happens in the spirit world. So therapy in with that is called LBL, or life between life. So often it's important to take people to that area and find out what's happening on a soul level. Find
Okay,
out.
can I interrupt you just for a second? Have you done any of this yourself? Have you?
Have I been to Between Life myself?
Yeah, pre-life, past life. Have you done any of this? You have.
Yeah.
And did you do it for this lifetime? Did you find your soul connection? Did you see? This is weird because I can do people's past lives. I've never gone into my own.
I can't either myself, to be honest with you. I have to have friends who are hypnotherapists take me there, because I have friends that can do it themselves. I've never been able to. I have to have somebody else regress me. But yeah, I've been back to a lot of my past lives. I've had to go back working on issues that I've had in this lifetime, things that I've needed to know more about. And yeah, it's amazing, and it's cool to be on the other end of it and experience it, because you go, wow, yeah, this is just so wild, man. It's awesome. It's one thing to do it, and that's another thing to have it done to you. Oh, but I want to tell you, Life Between Life. Paul Arand is now the gentleman that Dr. Michael Newton named as his successor, and he's out of his office is actually in New York. And we'll put his link on there too, but if somebody is interested in doing Life Between Life work, him and his wife Sophia really specialize in that, and they also teach all around the world. They teach groups of people how to actually do it. So you can actually get certified in Life Between Life. They are the teachers for that. So yeah, if anybody's interested in learning more about it and doing it, it's a tremendously healing therapy, because you find out so much about yourself. You understand more about your soul. You understand more about why did you choose your parents? Why did they choose you? And yes, you actually did. And you choose many people throughout this life that you're currently having for very specific reasons. But when you find out what the reasons are on a soul level, you find out what life lessons you're learning and teaching, now it all makes sense, and you go, son of a bitch, all this stuff I went through all makes total sense now. And it's like you finally have all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, and you put them together, and you're looking at it, and you're going, damn, all right, it all fits. And that's a lot of the work that we do, is bringing together those pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that have been missing in people's lives. Okay. And when we do that, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful healing, brother.
So, you primarily are a healer.
Yeah.
You know what I think? When I connect to a client and they tell me what's going on and I get an instant vibe, the first thing I say is, I'm going to help you. And that, in and of itself, that kind of like, I'm going to help you. It's okay.
A lot of people are going like, they're like, can you help me? And I always love to tell people, well, number one, yeah, you're going to be helped. I'm going to help you to help yourself. And that's really, really important, that you allow them to know you're going to help them to help themselves, because of the fact that even though I'm doing a lot of tremendous deep healing work with people, they, at the same time, you always want to make sure that they're doing a hell of a lot of the work. And
okay,
why?
That's a good point. Like I say in my YouTube videos, look, you can get the magic wand. There is an immediate effect, but you also have to do aftercare, and you're going to have to do some heavy lifting. Now, if you hire me as a coach to make a physical workout program, and then you and I do the program, but then you don't work out during the week, you're not going to get and I try to tell people, like, I just made a video, realistic ideas about healing your mind, healing your aura, healing your energy, rather than, the client. I do try to screen my clients, and a lot of times I'll be like, I think you have an unrealistic idea about what I can do and how you're going to get healed, and that you have a responsibility and you have to come forward. And
it's important for them to be a huge part of that process, because of the fact that if I go in and I do all the work, now I just made that person dependent on me to get healed all the time for the rest of their life. And instead of them realizing they have the power inside, yeah, I'm guiding them, and yeah, I'm doing all this amazing stuff with energy, but they have the power. They have that power to heal, and when they discover that they can heal themselves, when they put all the pieces of that jigsaw puzzle together, and they're able to release all their trauma, and they're able to get to that place of peace and clarity and love in their life, they know that they put the work in to get there, and they can continue to do it throughout their life, man. So it's awesome, brother.
Let me ask you, just toss something out there that's a random thing. Okay, say we're not in body and we're in between lives, or we're in our other dimension. Do we have a personality? Do we have the same personality we have now? I've read different things. What do you think?
It's interesting because it's not exactly the same personality, but it's similar because, all right, say in your most recent past life you were a banker and you were very specific. In this lifetime you are a amazing spiritual healer. Which one is you?
All right, so they kind of bleed. Is that what it?
Yeah, they do. They kind of bleed. So, like in between life, on that soul level, you get to find out more about what that person's soul personality is kind of like, and you get to know more about the people that are in their lives too. And that's another thing that's real easy to do, is have people focus on people in their lives, connect with their soul, find out how many lifetimes they've had, go back to some of those lifetimes, review them, and that's once again putting together that jigsaw puzzle of their life, and their relationships make so much more sense. And they go, now I know why we do this and why we do that. And in between life, they get to find out if those people are part of their soul group. Because we have a group of souls that we generally travel with, and we do a lot of lifetimes with. Not all of them. Sometimes we bring in other souls. But it's very, very fascinating, though. The more you learn and the more people learn when they come in, it's just wonderful, man. It's just this process that they get to find out so much in the first session, and then additional sessions so much more. It's awesome, brother. Yeah.
Okay. That's basically our interview at. Wait, we're getting feedback. I'm not sure why. Wait, test. There we go. Okay, that's like our 45 minutes there.
Awesome, my brother.
I'm not going to show your links on the air until after we, disconnect on the Skype, because I'm afraid like the whole thing will get disconnected. So I am going to show your links. But is there first give us your quick contact info just right here.
Sure. My website is www.heritagehypno.com. Phone number for my business is 412-716-8894. My email, if you want to email me, is Michael, R as in Richard, Weir, W-E-I-R, at Comcast.net. And you can text me on that business number also. Like, more often people have been texting because everybody loves texting, so do I. So a lot of times people even text for appointments. They're like, hey, do you have anything open? I see clients from 8 a.m. now till 10 p.m. during the week, and then on the weekends, generally from 9 to 5, but some weekends I work later.
How many clients would you have in an average day?
In an average day, like 4 to 5 is the most that I can usually do in a day.
4 to 5. Okay. Shucks. There was one darn it last thing on the tip of my tongue. Oh, can you do this on the phone or cam to cam?
Absolutely. I generally like to do Skype or FaceTime or something.
So you want to be able to see them as well. Is that correct?
Yes. I've done just straight on the phone, but I really like this to be able to see them too at the same time.
Okay, so the most powerful is eye to eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a better connection for me, and I actually did more Skype and FaceTime sessions in 2016 that I did in my office, just from so many people getting really used to using it, and the technology is so good now. It just is awesome because people all over the world can now do sessions, where before they used to have to fly in and stay here.
So wait, what about, do they like go into a trance and they close their eyes? You see them on the cam like
Yeah, man, definitely.
And
brother.
they just like listen to my voice and I'm here and it's gonna be okay and you're
I can
safe.
flow energy over any distance, man. So it's just
Okay,
like,
well, my strongest is phone to phone. I'm actually my most powerful sessions with a client is phone to phone, and because people tell me the rhythm of my voice is what does it, and I just access that thing. It's gonna be all right. Something else takes over. You are only listening, and the focus gets right into the ear, and I can heal and move my energy through any dimension. So I can go and sit next to you, even though I'm talking to you on the phone. But my most powerful, whatever it is, my eloquence with the vocabulary when I'm working, it like gets them to feel safe, and it really is the most powerful. But I would, I'd be glad to see you doing what you do on cam, like a cam to cam, and show me. If you ever want to trade or something like that.
Sure, absolutely, brother. We'll do it.
We could learn a lot from each other. If you ever come to Manhattan and you want to go in person in the studio,
we'll do it.
Or if you think of, in a couple months, weeks, of another focus where you just want to chat and you want to go on live TV, we can do that as well. So
yeah, we're not very far. We're only about maybe 6-7 hours from each other, something like that. We're not too far.
Okay, do you have any questions for me or anything else you want to say in closing? I'm really honored and thankful that we had this time together and that we connected.
Thank you so much too, my brother. It's been great, man. I'm just thankful for getting the word out there more, man. The more we get the word out there and let people know that there's real help for them, the better off people are, because there's so many people that have gone to so many traditional paths and not found any help, and the people desperately need the help. And I'm glad there's people like you and me and all the others that are in these similar professions that we're here to help, man. That's why we take every breath, man. So it's all good, brother.
Okay, I see the light of God inside of you, man. Look at those eyes. You got to call this guy. They're very powerful. So I highly recommend in person if you can. But, okay, regression hypnotist, Michael R. Weir, and I'd just like to say thank you to God, the universe, the angels, and everybody that made this possible. And we're going to show Michael's links after we hang up with him on Skype. And his website, I think if you loaded it in, right? Did you load it? Whatever you loaded in on Facebook, that's what I'm going to show after we hang up.
Yeah. Awesome, brother.
Okay, Michael, I will see you on the Facebook. And we can find you on Facebook as well under Michael R. Weir, right? Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, that link is actually, that link's on there to my business page. I also have a personal page on there, too, and on Facebook, too. Yeah.
Okay, my brother, you have a great night. Thank you for being a part of this. And Shakti, all blessings and all healings in every reality, man.
Absolutely, my brother. Love you, man. Take care.
Love you too, Michael. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Shakti. Namaste. Okay, there you have it. Yeah, we're going to show Michael's, there he goes. We're going to show Michael's links now. Let me see. Okay, so we're on camera here. Okay, video chat ended. Where is, my name's Kirk, and it's been my pleasure to be your spiritual, supernatural host. Here we go. Okay, okay. Wow, he actually looks, okay, well, there's the office. As you can see, there's the office, so I'm pretty sure that's the office. So there you go. Doesn't look scary or anything. Let's see, follow, we'll like and follow Mr. Michael Weir, and I think that's kind of like all you need. Look, there's reviews and Heritage Clinical. Here we go. I think this might be a site. Is it a site? Let's see. Okay, well, I don't see the site, but all right. Well, here you go. You can find it. You can email me. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say. That's it. That's the big interview. You know, I never know how to finish these things off. Hey, here's a big finish. Finish. Okay, thanks for watching. My name's Kirk. That was an awesome, great interview. It goes so fast. That's how you know. Alpha state to create, dare to prepare. I really feel like, you know, I can go home and pass out now. I was up at 5:30 this morning, all like nervous and jittery. I've had this scheduled like, I don't know, like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And I'm just thankful. The tech, the people, the energy, the Facebook, the Skype, the Kirk, it all like lines up. And when it lines up, it's magic. So we're giving you the magic, giving you the power. I'd like to thank you for watching. And once again, Michael R. Weir, thank you for watching. And Shakti, namaste. And we'll see you here every Monday night. Channel 1997, Channel 1993 in New York City, Manhattan. And on the web every Monday, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, live stream at mnn.org, Channel 3, the Spirit Channel, and you can call me live on the bat phone. Here it is, the magic phone, at 212-245-7273. Shakti, namaste. Guys, I'll see you in the Cyber Temple of Love, and thanks for watching.